Yes, the microphone. Perfect. And our unitybillings.org website. Announcements. Linda just announced that the play 1776 is, when is that going to happen, Linda? It's happening right now. Okay, the play 1776 is happening at Billings Studio Theater. Yes, and yes.
I read on Facebook that they really only have tickets left for the weekend of June 20th. Wow.
Okay. Yes, Charlene says she read that there were only tickets left for the weekend of June 20th. So if you want to see it, you might want to get after it, get some tickets. All right. Our kids' room redo on June 20th, starting at 8 a.m. Come and join in the fun. We're going to be doing some changing around, and actually we're going to be, should I tell them the gory details of what we're going to do? No. Just show up, and we would appreciate your help. Thank you. Stay as long as you can. We're in the process of converting this room into the kids' room so that they can be close by, and it'll be soundproof. Our summer solstice sound bath is June 21st at 6:30 p.m. right here at Unity of Billings. Please join us. That's always a very, very wonderful and introspective time. Connie does a very great job with that. And also the flowers, these beautiful flowers here were left in memory of Connie Johnson's daughter who passed. And they had a service for her on Saturday. Yes? Yes.
And there is food left over from the services fellowship. And so everyone's invited to come down and have a lot of food.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So did everyone hear that? There's food downstairs that's left over from the service that was held yesterday. And please come downstairs and join in and help to celebrate the life of, what is Connie's daughter's name? Danny.
Rihanna is her real name.
Rihanna Danielle. Our food collection continues downstairs and will be an ongoing project for family services. And our meditation room is available 9:30 a.m. on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesday evenings at 7 to 8 p.m. Today we have the great pleasure of welcoming, once again, Rev Jim Reindollar. Creating out of chaos is his message today. Perfect timing. Thank you. June 21st will be Reverend Phil Zimke. June 28th will be Reverend Edie Weigel. And she will speak to us on resilience. And there will be no services on July 4th weekend. And now, if everyone will take a deep cleansing breath and center yourselves, we will hear the song, the Unity song. It's a specific song with David Friedman.
Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you. I will always be. I am one. I am unity. We are one. We are
Thank you, David. And as I light the Christ candle, it is a reminder to all of us of our indwelling Christ within us and our service today. Our daily word today on Sunday, June 14th, speaks of appreciation. Will you join me in affirming appreciation? I express appreciation for my many blessings. I express appreciation for my many blessings. It has been said that what I appreciate appreciates. The more I give thanks for what I have, the more blessings I will discover. Practicing gratitude in all circumstances helps me realize how abundantly blessed I am. When I remember all the good that God is, more good is revealed to me. Taking a breath, I give thanks for life. Opening my eyes, I give thanks for the clarity of spiritual vision. Listening deeply, I give thanks for divine wisdom. With each bite of food, every sip of water, I feel grateful for my body and my physical senses. There is so much to appreciate, from the small everyday things to life's most grand events. Giving thanks with my whole heart brings me joy. I practice appreciation for all that I am, all that I have, and all that I do. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. Psalms 9:1. Again, will you affirm with me appreciation? I express my appreciation for my many blessings. Our Unity Foundation principle. Join me, please. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And our Unity of Billings affirmation, crafted by our Unity chaplain, Charlene Inglis. Through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive. And now, if you'll take a moment to gather your tithes, gather your prayers, if they're written down or otherwise, they could be just there. And join me in praying. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. And our special music will be performed by Rick and Jane. Page 251, Flow, Spirit, Flow.
This is all of you can do too. So, you know how I like to kind of talk about the song sometimes, so it's time for Just the Facts with Jane.
I love it.
So the author, if you look in your books on 251, it's on the left, it's Janet Bowser Manning. No relationship to Kate Manning, I don't think. She and her husband became ordained Unity ministers in 1978. She was also a music teacher and was instrumental in creating the Unity hymnal, Words of Song. Did you know that that's the name of our hymnal? Wings of Song? I'm getting to words to sing. Wings of Song. So, think about it. When I share these songs with all of you, I feel uplifted on the wings of these words. So I really, really like the title, Wings of Song. Please turn in your hymnals to page 322 for a moment, please, if you will. Humor me. Do you see what the name of that hymn is?
Yeah.
What is it? And who's the author on the left? Yes. She wrote that song. All these years I sang that song and loved it and enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites. It's in the hymnal of Unity repertoire. Is written by her as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So now, thank you for indulging me and listening to Just the Facts. Would you please join me in singing these words of song, sitting or standing, whichever is comfortable. Flow, Spirit, Flow, 251. He's going to play the tune through once and we'll sing both verses.
Okay.
Join me?
I'm a little croaky.
So am I.
Shall we croak together?
Spirit, flow, and all your histories. I am gentle, for the love and peace. Fill me with love, and let my heart be strong. Fill me with joy, and I may sing our song. Heal, Spirit, heal, and all my suffering. I am expressing my affection true. Fill me with love, that I may love thee. Fill me with life, that I may live for thee. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you. That was a great song. Very nice. Thank you, Rick and Jane. Very nice. I love Just the Facts with Jane. That's so nice to know some of the historical value of these songs and other things, and the flag. Charlene? Yes, ma'am?
She actually came to Billings when we were way back over there off Lewis.
Oh, my, how wonderful.
I remember that.
That is so nice to have met her. And also David David Friedman came here as well, right?
Yeah. Did a master class afterwards.
Oh my gosh,
Wonderful class.
that would have been a treat.
House.
How exciting.
All these fun facts, I love it. And Wayne Dyer came here as well?
Yeah. We had a whole thing with him in the community.
Wow, how wonderful.
Lady from South Dakota sponsored him.
Well, didn't the guy that wrote,
Communication with
the
God.
Roadless Travel, he was
No.
there also. Yeah.
That was.
Nice.
Scott Peck.
That is wonderful.
They were probably friends.
Yeah, this church has such a wonderful heritage.
He did Conversations with God.
Yeah, no.
Neil Donald Walsh.
Oh, yeah.
Neil Donald Walsh,
Yes.
Conversations with God.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a wonderful book. All right, all the blessings that we have, that we've enjoyed and that we will continue to enjoy, especially since we're going to have this day forward, even more appreciation for our blessings, more appreciation for each one of us that come together and we get to be here together and create more blessings. Thank you all for your gifts, of your physical presence, of your viewing, energetic presence, of your light and love. As we share that light and love, and it moves out throughout our community, throughout the world, and the multiverse. And so it is.
We also had the monks that created mandalas.
They came as well?
Yes.
Oh my God, that created mandalas?
Yeah, you know, the same.
Yes. Oh, that would have been really, really wonderful. That is amazing.
We'll get more of them to come. Yes. Return visit.
Exactly. Those that are still with us in the physical.
Yeah.
But I mean, even not, I mean, we could just invite them energetically.
Exactly, right.
I'm down for that. All right, Reverend Jim Reindollar. Are you ready, sir? So nice to have you.
Thank you.
Well, good morning. As always, it's wonderful to be here and to see you. So today, I know I do one reading. I'm going to do two because I'm going to take two stories from the Bible and kind of bring them together here a bit. One is a short reading. The second one is long, I will warn you, but it's a well-known reading and I think very beautiful. So, our first reading today comes from the Gospel according to John, the 14th chapter. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you forever. This is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. You know him because he abides with you, and he will be in you. I will not leave you orphaned. I am coming to you. In a little while, the world will no longer see me, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. On that day, you will know that I am in God, and you in me, and I in you. They who have my commandments to keep them are those who love me, and those who love me will be loved by God, and I will love them and reveal myself to them. And our second reading opens the Bible, Genesis chapter 1. When God began to create the heavens and the earth was complete chaos, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be a dome in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." So God made the dome and separated the waters that were under the dome from the waters that were above the dome. and it was so. God called the dome sky, and there was evening and there was morning, the second day. And God said, let the waters under the sky be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed and fruit trees of every kind on earth that bear fruit with the seed in it. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed of every kind and trees of every kind bearing fruit with the seed in it. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, birds of the air and over the cattle and over all the wild animals of the earth and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. I think I missed that. Sorry. And let the lights in the dome sky give light upon the earth, and it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars. God set them in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning on the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the dome of the sky. So God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, of every kind, with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, cattle and creeping things and wild animals of every kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals of the earth of every kind, and of the cattle of every kind, and everything that creeps upon the ground of every kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make humans in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals on the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So God created humans in God's image. In the image of God they were created, male and female, he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. God said, see, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw everything that had been made, and indeed it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Then the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their multitude. On the sixth day God finished the work that he had done, and rested on the seventh day from all the work that had been done. So God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that had been done in creation. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. So today I want to look at creating from chaos through these two Bible stories. First one that Jesus knows the final discourse. This is he has risen from the dead. He is giving one last bit of advice and information to his disciples. And then, of course, the creation story, where God gets to create something from a time of chaos as well. So to deal with the first part, I'm reminded of a story from Garrison Keillor, if you remember, great radio host and writer. He referred to a time where it was just very difficult for him and kind of just really wasn't sure what to do in a situation and difficult to face. So he'd had a restless night's sleep and got up on Sunday morning and he went to church. And noted that it was a nice, cool day with a chill in the air, kind of that perfect thinking weather, as he called it. And so he sat in his pew, and right there in front of him was a family preparing to have their child baptized. And so the grandmother held the child and put the head on her shoulder, and the baby looked right at Keeler with her eyes and just seemed to give him this look of, oh, you know what to do. And so the family gathered around the font for the baptism, and the other kids in the congregation came forward to watch. And as the minister held the little girl in her arms and recited the faith, and they had prayers for the child that she be filled with the Spirit. And then the congregation promised to renounce the evil powers of the world, the corrupt and those that destroy the creatures of God. And Keeler knew exactly what he needed to do. The congregation sang another hymn, then the postlude poured out and faced the world. In Advent, go back to a few months ago, Jesus comes to us as a baby, and as a young man, he changes the world, and dying at a very young age. But he comes back. So in the gospel lesson for that just read, with his final discourse here on earth, he ascends into heavens to his right hand of God and reminds the apostles that he is sending the Comforter, or the Advocate, or the Holy Spirit, whichever phrase you prefer. And it's a reminder to the disciples and to us that we will not be alone going forward. We are reminded that we are all children of God. There's no longer a God of a people or a God of a nation, but a creator who is Lord of all. A God who watches over and knows us better than we know ourselves. Patrick Haggerty was, and you may have heard this story, this was done, I'd say about 10 years ago on NPR's StoryCorps. This became a popular story, it stuck with me. Patrick Haggerty was the son of Charles Haggerty, who was a dairy farmer in rural Washington state. And this is in the 1950s, and Patrick was in his early teens. And he began to understand himself as gay. But one day when they were performing, he thought he was hiding it well. And so one day he was going to the school assembly, his brother was driving him there, and he began to put on his costume, which included glitter. And his brother, what are you doing? I'm putting on my costume. Mine would be cut dead looking like that. Well, his brother dropped him off at school, but then he called up to his dad and said, all right, I think you'd better get up here. This may not go well. So his dad drove up to the high school, and he came directly from the field, wearing his farmer's jeans and boots, and went into the school. And Patrick saw him, and very quickly ducked around the corner. Patrick wasn't embarrassed because of what he was wearing. He was embarrassed by what his father was wearing. And so they did the assembly, and it went well. And so the father drives Patrick home, and the father says, I was walking around the school this morning and thought I saw a kid look just like you, but he ducked around the corner to avoid me. I know you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to your dad, would you? Patrick just kind of squirmed in his seat and fumed for a few seconds and finally said, Dad, why did you have to come here in your jeans and your clodhoppers with cow crap on them? Father said, look, everyone knows who I am. I'm a dairy farmer. And then his father looked him square in the eye and said, and what about you? What do you mean? Well, when you're a full-grown man, who are you going to go out with at night? I don't know. I think you do know. And it's not going to be that McLaughlin girl that makes goo-goo eyes at you all the time, because you won't even pick up the phone to call her. Now, I'm going to tell you something. And you don't know what to do with it today, but when you're older, you'll know. Don't sneak. Because if you sneak like you did today, it means you think you're doing something wrong. And if you go around spending your whole life thinking that you're doing the wrong thing, then you'll ruin your immortal soul. Patrick thought years later of all the things that a father could have told his gay son back in the 1950s. His father told him to be proud of himself and not to sneak. Now, Patrick's reaction at the time was as soon as they got home to go out into the hayfield and flip as many 50-pound bales of hay as he could 3 feet in the air, saying, I'm not gay, what's he talking about? But the father knew where he was headed, and he knew that making him feel bad about it was the wrong thing to do. And years later, Patrick would muse, I guess I had the patron saint of dads for rural gays. I didn't know it at the time. Dad was right, I didn't know at the time, but I know now. And I think the Holy Spirit fits that. It moves in us, around us, and upon us. And then it just kind of is that one thing that goes around, and it's not sneaking. The Spirit is at work. Just as strongly as it is, just as strong as it was 2,000 years ago, it is at work today. And here, among us now, and it is not sneaking. The Spirit calls to us to be there for one another, to support those in need, to clothe and feed the poor, to educate, to heal, and to be at the forefront of the issues that our world faces. Many of the issues that Christ himself lived through and we are living with today. We have issues of war, poverty, corruption in business and government. Being opposed to these things is quite obvious in the teaching of Jesus and the prophets and the apostles. So don't sneak. Don't be afraid. Jesus touched the unclean. He dined with the outsiders, and he turned the other cheek. So don't sneak. Don't hide who you are, because God has created you. Brings you through experiences to make the world a better place for all. And you can be an advocate for those who are voiceless. You can be the one to help someone in your community. For you are who you are, and thank God for that. The lesson is an appreciation of who you are and who you will be, an appreciation of this church, of what it was, what it is, and what it will be. Remember, when Jesus is sending out his disciples, he's doing it to us today, and we are the ones being sent. We are the ones who make God's life present and tangible. We are the ones who give flesh to Jesus' words. You and I are that advocate, and we are filled with the Spirit of God. So what does advocacy look like in a good way? Well, it will look like love, and it will affirm life. When your heart breaks for the pain of the world, when you reach out in compassion, when you weep over another's loss, you are the advocates in that moment. When you offer or seek forgiveness, when you refuse to judge, when you celebrate joys or cry over losses, the advocate is with you. When you love or are loved, the advocate is there. When another speaks a truth or offers guidance that helps you change your life, she or he is advocating on your behalf. When you speak words of hope, hold another's needs and concerns as important as your own, or pray for one another, you are their advocate. Advocates sit at the bedside of the other. They care for the sick and dying, and they console the bereaved. William Sloane Coffin, great minister from Riverside Church in New York City back in the day, had someone once say to him, "You know, I don't care for the church. The church is a crutch." Coffin said, "Of course it's a crutch. And what makes you think you don't limp?" We always need help, even when we don't think we need it, even when we want to ignore it. And that Holy Spirit is there, moving us toward to follow Jesus. And this active participation in God's love leads us to the renewal of society and offers compelling evidence through both word and deed of Christ's enduring presence and active reign in all this world. Creating out of chaos, leading us and guiding us to help others. The creation story that we also read is also very important here. So you have to remember, when this particular creation story was written down, they were in refugee camps coming out of Babylonia. The Jews had just been freed, and the Babylonian captors had an interesting thing here. They had their own creation story that the Jews would have been well aware of. And there's a name for it that I'm not going to pronounce because it's going to be weird and wrong, and you probably won't remember it anyway. But it was kind of a war among gods, multiple gods going at it. It was kind of violent and gory. And so this would have been the story that the Jewish people would have been hearing from the Babylonian captives, or the captors. And so when this story gets written down, this particular creation story I just read, it's so simple. There's no chaos to it really at all. The only chaos is some water and wind. There's no fighting, there's no violence. This vast cosmic work is treated as simple. And it's all happening in a mere 6 days. God creates. In the beginning was chaos, but there was only darkness. And somehow there was also God. And creating out of chaos, creating from nothing. The story really isn't so much of a praise of God for creation, as not an accurate portrayal of how things work. After all, there is light before there is sun and stars, vegetation before there is sun, and no rain. And so the waters are withheld until the flood story. But science is not the point. This is not why the story was written down. It was not what it was meant to convey. The first creation story in the Bible is actually the second creation story for the Hebrew people. The one that actually Genesis 2 will follow here. And it's more in line with kind of primitive origin stories. But the author of, or authors perhaps, of this story is referred to as the priestly source, because it was probably written down by a rabbi or rabbis, and it was written as a liturgy. So the rabbis would have told a story, and the congregation would have responded like, and there was, light, and there was day, day and night on the fourth day, and so on. That had been the congregation's response. So the emphasis, in part for this story, is Sabbath. Again, 6 days of creation, and we get to day 7, God rests. So it's kind of given as a guidance that if God has to rest, then it's probably good for us to rest as well. And so the story shows an appreciation of God, creation, and all that occupy the world. When I was in elementary school, I remember, the little reading books we had, there was a story of Finnish immigrants coming to the U.S. And it's a father and a daughter, and the father is telling the daughter as they go over on the boat that there are 2 important things for her to remember. Now, I have to admit, I forgot one of them. I'm not Finnish, so it didn't matter. But he tells her, the second word that he gives her, he said, you must remember this all the days of your life. That's very important to us as Finns. And that word, sauna. Now, I don't remember exactly when we read this story in elementary school, but I do know that I was old enough to know what a sauna was, even though I'd never been in one. I knew from television that a sauna was a place where some unseen killer tried to kill off the main character by locking the door and turning up the heat. But thankfully, they got out in time. We could be spared a lot of lame suspense if they would take locks off and put the controls inside, but I digress. But so I remember reading that and thinking, sauna? I kind of actually, as I sometimes would think in those reading books, they were kind of talking down to us. And it wasn't until I was well into adulthood that I realized that the point of that story. So, sauna. Well, it's very important to Finnish people. Evidently, the Finnish people are exhibitionists, but they live in a country that's too cold to walk around naked. So the sauna was important. And so the story was trying to convey the cultural importance. And that was the point. And that is the point of Genesis. It's telling the Jewish people who they are, where they came from, and where they're going. And Sabbath is important to that. So now in the early days, Sabbath had been around for a long time for the Jewish people. And what happened was you could just pick any day of the week to be your Sabbath. So I could Sabbath on Monday, you could Sabbath on Thursday. And if something came up that Monday didn't work for me, I would just move it to a day later in the week. But ancient Israel has lawbreakers and also its tattletales. So you would have somebody who would probably a little greedy would not take off. And you have to remember when you do Sabbath, the way this would have been set up, your whole household Sabbaths with you. So your family Sabbaths, your servant Sabbath, your animal Sabbath. So again, especially if you're kind of an economic, want to get ahead financially, a good business deal comes up, or you want to get the crop going a little better, you might ignore the Sabbath, and therefore you're also encouraged everyone in your household to ignore it. And so people would, oh, Saul didn't take Sabbath. Let me go to the rabbi, and the rabbi, Saul, why didn't you Sabbath? Oh, well, I'll do it later in the week. And Saul never did. And so this was a problem, and so eventually the Sabbath became regulated to the seventh day of the week. And so this story kind of tells that importance to people, that the Sabbath is not just, it's not a burden, it's not something that holds them back, it's something that they need. And so they go forth with that. And again, remember, the world had many gods outside of Judaism, so it is also a reminder that there's one God, and everything comes from that creator God. And so the message, to go back to the father telling the daughter not to forget Sana, is the rabbi telling the Jewish people, don't forget, there's one God, our creator, and we must Sabbath because it was important to God. Now, in all the chaos of the world, you're to be reminded and grounded by these 2 points, and they continue for us today. And in Christianity, we are given a child, the Son of God who changes the world. And when Jesus departs, we are given the Holy Spirit. Now, the takeaway is that we are never alone. God and Jesus will always be with us until the end of the age. Our creation story comes from chaos. The concept of the Trinity comes from an era of chaos. But God comes to earth to live among us and experience the world in a different way. And we get to experience God in the flesh. And afterward, the Spirit continues to dwell amongst us in another different way, all from the same emanation, here to rebuild our faith in our society and show us the way. Sometimes when we come to that struggle, we don't appreciate times. They're not fun to go through. But when we get through those difficult times, our resolve and our faith can get us there. We kind of realize that we can come out better as individuals and as a community. I've often observed that a lot of times with sports teams, once they kind of hit rock bottom, it becomes easy for them to rebuild. It can be the same for churches, businesses, families. Because when you hit bottom, you're open to new ideas, taking some risk, and creating a goal can become easier. We deal with chaos today. Our institutions are being torn down, literally and figuratively. Now, some need to go. Some need to be revised. And in our time of chaos, we look for a time to create, a time to tell a new story. So as institutions struggle, which unfortunately does include the church, we feel compelled to return to what grounds us. Back to basics to remind us of who we are, why we are here, and what we must do. We have to remind ourselves and one another when we see chaos in the world to know what is good for us and what isn't. It's a reminder and an appreciation of where we came from and where we need to go. The agents of chaos are hard at work, always have been. And if we are to overcome them, and we can and we will, we need to remember there is one God, our Creator, calling us out of that chaos to work, to rest, and to go back out again, knowing that Jesus is with us and the Holy Spirit is moving within us. Now, my tradition, we're allowed to say a creed, and they give us options on creeds. A lot of Protestant churches nowadays don't do creeds, and I understand that. I don't use them as tests of faith, but I thought what kind of fit with today was something from the United Church of Canada, what they call the New Creed. They wrote this in 1968, also a time of chaos. It's my favorite creed. And it's short, I'll read it to you here. We are not alone. We live in God's world. We believe in God, who has created and is creating, who has come in Jesus, the Word made flesh, to reconcile and make new, who works in us and others by the Spirit. We trust in God. We are called to be the church, to celebrate God's presence, to live with respect in creation, and to love and serve others, to seek justice and resist evil, to proclaim Jesus crucified and risen, our judge and our hope. In life, in death, in life beyond death, God is with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God. And I love that creed. It's simple, doesn't have unusual asks for it some of the other creeds might have. But I love how it both begins and ends by saying, we are not alone. And that is true because we will always have each other. We always have God and the Spirit moving among us. No matter what comes up, no matter what chaos is thrown at us, we can come out of it rested and ready to create and take on into something new. We are not alone. Thanks be to God. Blessings to you throughout this week.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep.
It's wonderful. Right. Everybody circle up. And that's right.